Alright guys, today we're going to be doing some coding on my new Thinkpad P1 Gen 5. I'm very excited. I've already done some coding on this, and right now I'm working on a Roblox game. And I'll show you guys what is in it so far in a second. So far, this computer has been so fast, so fun. And if you're watching, I feel like this series could be not a tutorial, but it's meant to be kind of like a nice way to watch other people code. So maybe when you do your own coding, feel like you have a partner. I'm also gonna answer any questions that you guys leave in the comments if you are also doing some coding and need some kind of advice. So I got my computer set up. I have my little ergonomic mouse. I'm actually very impressed with this thing. Very comfortable, but I do have to still kind of get used to it. Alright, so right now we are working on this game that I call Chessa, which is kind of like auto chess or teamfight tactics, if you guys know those games. And let me just show you what I have so far. So the basic idea behind this game is that you have a board where you place your units or your pieces, and to get your units, you go down here for it to load a little bit. The thing with Roblox Studio is that it takes a while every time you run it for all the textures to load in. I kind of wish that they cached all of your game's textures and only updated it when you need to. It's faster, because every time I run this, it takes like a minute to load everything. So basically, you click this button down here and you roll for some units, and let's say you want to buy this unit, your money up here, and you click on it and it appears down here. Now the idea is that you kind of arrange your units on your chessboard and you can battle against other players like so. Got destroyed. So right now I'm working on the inventory system, and basically I'm trying to get it so that when you equip something, the mods on this item go on to the unit. And this is actually one of the last major features that I'm going to implement before I just kind of polish everything up, get some matchmaking features in, and release the game. So it's very exciting, but it's also very difficult. And there are lots of server-side checks that you have to do. And right now, the only way to equip it is by clicking on this button, which I'll show you in a second. But I also want to add features like dragging it to equip it, which for some reason doesn't work right now. We'll have to get that fixed. I guess this will be a debugging video. You get to see how I debug and how it relates to the struggle. So when you click on equip, there should be an animation that takes you and drops it over here. See if it works. Boom. The animation plays, but I need to update this. And that's where we're at right now. So today's goal for this video in the next 30 minutes, I hope I can get this done. I'm going to add the item here. I'm going to try to do the drag and drop equipment. And I think that's going to be good progress. And of course, plenty of debugging, because no developer ever writes perfect code on the first try. And these buttons down here, they can start a round and stop it. It's good for testing. In the real game, obviously, you're not going to be able to just start and stop rounds whenever you want. Alright, let's get coding. If you guys are joining me for some coding as well, of your own, just do this. Otherwise, you can just sit back and relax and watch me struggle through this. Alright, the first thing I want to do is actually fix this bug. The thing I don't like is that because the script is different, there's a different owner. When you actually run the code, you can't just click it and go to the script. You have to read the line number. Alright, it's saying that we don't have item icon. Alright, so this is saying basically when we're dragging it, to call an interesting. Okay. 180. Update the dragging icon. Right. Okay, this is I hate debugging. Torture. 121. Attempt to call a no value. Is it talking about item object? Ah, right. Okay, that makes sense. So that's my bad. This would just be item object then. Update item drag icon. Update item drag icon. Okay, yep, that should fix the dragging. So right now, when you drag the item, it doesn't come equipped once you drop it on a unit, but you should be able to. Let's just get it random drop here. You should be able to drag it. Can't actually equip it, but the dragging works. That's good. Great. I'm gonna have to. Oh yeah, by the way, all of these icons I drew myself. I'm very proud of that, but they took a good amount of time. So yeah. I also need some ideas for how I can make this UI a bit better. Like, I don't think it's bad right now, I just think it's a bit bland. You guys might not be able to see the screen as clearly as I can. Excuse me, but some really cool UIs that I've seen before have, like, I like this kind of sort of like faint touch splash of just patterns and things like that. So I need ideas for what I can do to these other menus. This backpack or like this scoreboard. There's also a third button here that I'm not going to implement yet, so we're going to focus on the inventory system. So let's think about this. Alright, we now need to update. We need to write code that updates this part, the items frame, with the new item that we equipped. So let's go to the selection UI script where we do that. How are we gonna do this? Alright, so basically we're gonna first have to query all of the items that the unit owns, which we can find inside the unit itself, which is a parameter right here, which is good. So what we can do is local items owned. It's going to equal the unit dot items get children. Now the order the items are owned in actually matters because sometimes the items stack on top of each other. So we need to get that figured out. So items owned, we have that. Let's see. Let's sort these items by their order. So let's do local item name, item names. So we're gonna just go through each item, items owned, and we are going to get their order equals item dot view, because they are int values, so their order based on their value, and we are just going to, should be okay to just say item names order equals item dot name. We can do item, yeah, that should be okay. Alright, now we're going to clear out the pre-existing icons, because when we switch between different units, we don't want to show the last unit's items. So we're going to go through item icon, and we need to make sure that it's actually an icon. Or rather, let's do this. And we should just format it. Basically, what I'm going to do is store, wait, let's see if I can add it. Perfect. Store the original color back there, because the background color is going to change depending on the item's rarity. We need to store the original color, and if I update this color, I'm going to have to remember to update the original color value as well. So let's just say item icon dot background color 3. Oh, and don't forget, I need to do that for all of these. We just the layout order we're also going to set back to 5, mainly because they have to show up in order, the items. Alright, so now what we're going to do is basically, you can kind of iterate over these integers almost. So, like, okay, item icon. Here, well, here's what we're going to do. Because we have to iterate over them simultaneously, you could use some kind of custom iterator function, but personally I'm just going to iterate the indices and index the list that. So we're going to go through the items that we have. So for I equals 1, item names do local item name. Okay, we're gonna make an object. Now, items item name dot new. Items is a module that contains all of the classes that we're using for these. So we create a new class with the item name. Now, Roblox doesn't actually have object-oriented programming. It only has meta tables. And for the longest time, I had no idea how they worked. So I always kind of stayed away from them. But they're actually very useful for things like this. If you're creating things like power-ups or items or different abilities, it's easier to have this kind of, to have the abilities of actual almost object-oriented design, close as you can get it anyway, because it just makes your code feel nicer. And the reason we need this object is because the object actually has a function, has a method to format item icon correctly without us having to worry about what the actual item is. Very nice. So I believe, let me just, cool. Yeah, format item icon image label. So item icon, and then we're gonna just make sure the order is right. The layout order, it's gonna equal the rare, no, not rarity. Oh, just I. Right. Okay, so that makes sense. That should be it. I'm gonna take a quick bathroom break, so be right back. Alright, I'm back, and we need to test this to see if it works. Now, before we actually do that, though, we need to also have it update when a new item appears. Because right now it only updates when you select the unit. When you select the unit, it displays the items. But if you have the unit selected and it's a new item, it doesn't update it. So let's get that done. How do we do that? I think what we're gonna do is kind of tricky, because we can't just say when the unit gets a new child, because the unit itself is going to be nil sometime. And if we bind it inside where we select the target and where we update the UI and everything, display unit stats, right? Then we're gonna have to unbind it when we deselect it. So we're gonna need a global variable for that. Really like global variable. So kind of tricky, but really no other choice. Like, you could also do a loop that, like a render stepped loop almost outside of the code, but that's just not efficient. So let's do that. Let's do bind item update. So to the unit, and instead of setting the connection right in there, I'm gonna have it return the connection. So the item update connection equals that, and we're gonna make that a global variable. I'm not a fan, but really don't know why my code is so all over the place. L button. Oh, yeah, we're gonna put that down there. All right, so item update connect. We're gonna do the select function before we do the select function. Item update connection is gonna start out as nothing. Oh, right, that's gonna start out as nil. Once it's bound, set it, and then when we deselect the target, we unbind it. So item if. Ooh, focus section done. Start another one. Microsoft has actually a really nice tool to help you keep focused if you need help with that. Personally, I use it because it helps me track the time that I'm putting into each feature, and it also does help me keep focused and avoid just kind of like scrolling on YouTube or whatever. So if you just do block that has this focus session, very nice. Highly recommend it. Alright, so now what we're gonna do is unbind the connection. Unbind. Disconnect, right? Disconnect. And I guess we should also set it to nil, so I'll just... Oops. Alright, now we need to make this function bind item update, so... Alright, the idea is that when the unit gets a new item, so unit dot Alright, so here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna have animations in this. Animations are very nice, and I guess you could try to leave them to the end, but going back and adding all the UI animations, rewriting code, it's just not for me. So we're gonna do the animation, most of the animations right now. So instead of just updating the items straight up, which could totally work, we are going to, depending on if the unit gets an item or loses an item, which shouldn't happen, you're gonna have separate animations and then do the updating so that after the animation's done playing, all of the icons are in order again. So let's do that. Also, once they lose an item, remember to order them. So you shouldn't be able to lose items. That should be here. Unit.items.child added. So when it gets an item, we want to add an icon to the last available. Alright, so let me zoom in so you can see a little bit better. Add the item. I guess it's really the, what did we call it? Alright, just item then. Okay, so we also need to find the first one that's not available. Or it's the first one that is available. So do that. So local item on, yeah, we're gonna have to iterate through. And the way we know, item. The way we know if it's available or not is if the layout order. How do we not items contain? Oh my god! Come on. Basic stuff here. I might even make this global so it's easier. Is if the icon's layout order, if is 5. And of course, if we don't have any, then we want to warn no item icons available, but and of course not do anything. I just realized since we're doing multiple, alright, we're doing multiple connections, one for adding, one for subtracting, then we're gonna have to have multiple. Well, let's think about this. Yeah, we will. We'll need multiple, so we're gonna make this iterate over or on I might just call this separate function like disconnect. gonna just add this so that I don't forget to return the connections. Done. Oh. Okay, so now that we have our item, we need to animate the icon going into it. So what we can actually do is to have like a separate what I'm thinking is I kind of want to have like the animation of the icon fading in and sticking to it almost. So but in order to do that efficiently, yeah, I don't want to really dynamically create icons. I could avoid them. I mean, I'm already thinking about a way I can do this, but really not the way I want. Okay, let's do it this way then. Okay. R. Let's. First things first, before we do anything at all, let's make this item icon. Let's make the layout order correct. How do we know if it's correct? We can just take the number of items that the child has. Think about it. If one icon, two. Well, but yeah. So this should be right. Like I said. Okay, let's do it. Okay. Alright, so we're gonna make a new image label that's parented to the item icon that's bigger than the icon that shrinks. So creates kind of like this, what is it? What would you call that? Like a masked icon almost, or the item icon. I want to kind of the local mask. Mask. We want the anchor point to be in the middle. And we want the position to be also in the, oops. I want it to be bigger, but how much bigger, you ask? Yeah, 2 times bigger. Start out transparent. Thing. Maybe 3 times bigger actually. It's gonna start out transparent. There's no reason to move it. Oh, we also need to make a corner, UI corner. So oh, that's so nice. Whew. But it's 94 degrees. Jeez. Anyway. Alright, corner.parent equals mask. Look, okay, I'm not I'm not a programmer. But I'm glad you could join me on my journey. See someone else suffer like you do. Alright, so now that we have the mask, let's actually cool. We also need to format the mask, obviously. The formatting. Yes, so we want the item name. So why don't we just get all the Hi
Robert. How are you feeling today?
Hold on. Item itself should have a value in it. Ah, yes. We don't even need this kind of crap. Just say item.value. I think that would work. Anyway, so local item name equals item.name. Now, the reason I'm doing this, kind of like peace of mind, so I know what the heck I'm doing right now. So local object, item object. And we want to use that to format it. Object, format the thing, format item, icon, mask. And then we want to slowly fade it in and make it smaller. So, how long do we want? Mean info equals make it that. Num.easing style, it doesn't matter really. Local tween itself is a tween service create. We want to tween the mask with that information. I want to tween the background transparency, the normal transparency, and the size actually. Play that tween, wait for it to complete, then update the unit items panel, and then finally destroy the mask. Should be enough. And then of course the second connection is when it's what am I doing? Connect. Doesn't even matter, we'll just call the updates unit items pan to the unit con1 and con2. Alright, now we should be done with that. Let's see if, God willing, this code works. It's not gonna work first try, I'm willing to promise you. But this debugging about to start right now. You ready? Right. about you guys, but every time I'm working at the computer, I always like to glance outside what I'm missing outside. Plenty of. Oh god, already there's a problem. Item update connections. Table expected. Nil one? So. Nil. Oh, that's why. Oh, not set that to nil. Alright. Bugs squashed. 1. Oops. That's it. Get a U. Not perfect. Alright, select. Nothing is breaking yet. Select. So far so good. Equip. No. That's, well, whatever. Layout order is not a valid member of UI list. Oh my, did I make that mistake again? Right. Oh, okay. Make sure, like we did up here, that the item actually an icon, because we have a UI list layout there. Fix quick. More actually. This mouse is gonna take a lot of getting used to. Sometimes, like when you move it quickly, it moves a lot, but when you move it slowly, it just does not move that much. But I don't like to move it quickly. I don't like to move it quickly because I'm not used to it. So, you do. Let's get this item. And the idea is that the items will drop after you finish a battle, but not necessarily every time. For now, it is every time. But, and no good. Why would it? Wait, that's not good. Oh my. Oh.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're glad to invite.
Okay. Oh, I should have known. Oh, that's unfortunate. We just set it to. I mean, we could. Really could. But have to wait because inventory. The tweening is done inventory side. Well. But that tweens to where it's 5. But over here, we set it once we find the available one. Not 5, so it doesn't think that that. How do we do that? Well. Fine. We have to do it before we equip it. How about that? Okay. That's the only way. That's the only way we can do it, I think. Oh, and this. Unable to assign property corner radius. Dim expected, got vector 2. Oh. Well, that's my bad. That corner us. Okay. Alright, you dim. There. Okay. I think that's about good enough. And I know my code sucks sometimes, but come on. The idea is there. Okay, let's spawn a unit, run, stop, get that, go over here, go over here, go over here, equip. That was pretty sick, except I forgot that the color. Of course it's not. I know. The 125. No. Yes, I'm 125. Oh, come. Ugh. Alright, we're gonna have to do this for the item I keep on forgetting for each potential icon. Let's just do candidate. I don't know. If candidate is a image label, then table.insert item. Kind of annoying how we have that sibling. Also, I need to adjust this mouse's settings. Give me 1 sec. Mouse. That should be good enough. Moving it too much. I'm not that precise. Ironically. So much better. Alright, let's see. Moment of truth. Boom. Now that's right. Okay. Not bad. Oh, the only thing we need to do now is to update the transparency thing. What the heck? Transparency should be 0. Transparency should be 0. Dude. Strange because I don't know why the now that's odd. Because the colors aren't matching. That's strange indeed. What could possibly be causing that? Background transparency 0. Background color 3 should also be is. Oh. Really? Alright, let's set that here real quick so we don't have to keep on doing that. So image label dot background color 3 is going to equal the info dot price colors sub dot rarity. So now the color will be matching. Oh, now the mouse might be a bit too sensitive. Oh, it is sometimes. Want to do it. Don't even want to do it, but we must. Oh, baby. Did it. Did you see that? Oh my god, I'm a G. Kidding, but still, look at that. Look at that. See that? Oh boy, it didn't work. Well, let's fix that bug real quick. I think I know why, but that's kind of embarrassing. Just as I was proclaiming my geniusness. It equals there. There we go. Okay. Now it should work. Not sure if I want to necessarily put it through any rugged tests yet, but it should work. Alright, you know what, let's get a few more items and test this. Like I said, I don't really want to test it, but... Alright, first tip. Go! Yeah, baby. Wooden shield. Let's do it. Damascus blade. Yeah, okay. No. Okay, what the heck? Okay, that's not good. Look, we have another bug. I think this time it might be here. Damascus blade. Ah, there must be a space here, you hecky. Code. Oh gosh, this is a lot. On items. Alright, let's do this. Pointed staff. Oh, I forgot, you have to... Equip. Equip. Yes. Equip. Yes. Now finally. Equip. Good. Now I realize that some of these units don't really... Like, it doesn't make sense for them to have certain items. And I really need to adjust these colors as well because they are contrasting. Contrast is not their strong suit. Anyway, oh, that's not right. Hold on, let me just test something. We're gonna wait for the battle to start on its own, and I want to see if I get anything weird show up here. Because you're not supposed to get the items if you don't pick them up during the preparation time. Okay, good. So, you're not supposed to be able to equip more than 4 items. See if that's true. Let's go. Equip. A. Let's do this. Equip. Oh my god, everything is working spectacularly. Cannot equip items you don't own. Oh yes. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, this is amazing. We've done it, guys. Most of the inventory system is up. Let's do it. I think that's a good way to... Oh, and look at that. Focus session over. There'd be a better ending to all this. No. Alright, well, that's it for this video. I'm gonna see you guys maybe in a future video. So, yeah, later. Bye.